Okay, morning everyone, we're out early and what I've got today is just a quick pre-flight check video of the M7 MAULE. So tune in and see how it goes. Roll the intro. Yeah, morning everyone. What I thought today is I thought I would do a little bit of a pre-flight check video. I spoke to a couple of people recently and people say that they don't even do a range check, you know, and things like that. And obviously these things are so important to spot problems before you actually fly. So I'm just going to go through what I actually do right before I fly every plane. So what I did yesterday was I checked everything was tight. Then I went around all the linkages on the servos and to the control surfaces to make sure that they were all in place and that their little rubber fixings were in place to stop them from coming loose. I then checked all the foam hinges to make sure that they were all intact. These foam models, when you've had them for a few years, the foam hinges can just deteriorate and fail. What I've done with mine is I've used foam tack and just painted over the control surfaces on both sides, let it dry, and that tends to stop that from happening. But I've checked the flaps, the ailerons, the elevator and the rudder, checked to make sure that all the connections for the servos to the elevator and the rudder are tight and that their fixings are in place to the servo horns to make sure they're not going to come loose. And then going on from there, then I always make sure that the prop nut is tight, the motor mounts and the spinner. I don't always do that every time, but I was going to fly this the other week and I checked it, so I know that it's good to go for today. So that's what I just go around to make sure the screws on the undercarriage are all tight and that everything is correct. Then the first thing I do then, even though I know I charged these batteries yesterday, I check them to make sure that they're fully charged, and now when it's showing 99%, so I know that's good to go. So okay, so from there I've installed the flight battery, I switched my radio on, I've made sure that I've got my throttle cut on as well, and then I install the flight battery, let it go through a setup. Okay, so that's completed there. Now, just tuck my battery wires in. I can put my hatch on now. Now making sure, right, I always make sure that my throttle cut is on, and then what I do then is I just quickly check my CG. So I want it nice and level, nice and neutral, not tail heavy. That's tail heavy, go on that. You get away with a little bit of nose heavy, but I like to have my tail draggers nice and neutral. So yeah, we've got a nice neutral CG there. Now another thing, next step, always check to make sure the control surfaces are reacting correctly. Now I always stand behind the plane because it's easier. So I check left aileron, my left aileron should go up. Right aileron should go up. If I want the plane to go up, I pull the stick back and that's going up. The elevator, if I want to go down, push the stick forward, that's going down. With my rudder, if I go left, that's come to the left, which will make the nose of the plane turn to the left. If I go to the right, it would make the nose of the plane go to the right. So they're all working correctly. Well, very important, if you're flying a plane with the gyro, for instance, safe, or a vortex system with stability, or the FMS system with stability. You want to make sure that your services are reacting in the correct direction. So what I always do, and again something I've picked up off the internet, I pick the plane up and I lift the one wing, and as I lift, that aileron should go up. I lift the other wing, the aileron should go up. I lift the tail, the elevator should go up, and then turn the plane on its side. And if it's working on the rudder as well, as you lift the rudder, you should see the rudder go up as well. And what that'll tell you then, because in AS3X those movements are very quick, so I always find I check in safe, and then if I'm flying in AS3X, I know that the control surfaces are going to move in the correct direction. So they're my quick checks. The next thing I do then is I do a range check. Okay, so just going to do the range test then. So I'm going to go out my 30 paces, 30, okay, and then go down to range test. There we are. So you see there, you got flight log data. The one that we're concerned about is the hold, the H. It's on 0 at the moment, so I'm going to hold the antenna so as this facing up. I press to reduce the power and then start moving the controls. Okay, right, can you turn it please? Michelle's going to turn the plane through 360 degrees to make sure that the receiver's getting a signal from any direction. And again please. So we're okay, we've got 0 holds. Sometimes I just change, make sure, do different. And again please, surfaces. Yeah, but we're still on 0 for holds. Okay, and the last bit please. So there you go, so we've got holds 0. So for me that's a successful range test, and I'd be quite happy to fly the plane now. So there you go, and just quickly walk back to the plane, and I do that before each block of flying, whether it's a plane or a helicopter. I don't do it between each flight, but I do it whatever I'm flying before I start that block of flying session. Yeah, make sure everything's okay. And that's what I do basically before I fly. So I'm gonna have a quick flight now. I haven't flown it for, I think it's about 4 or 5 months. The good thing about having a lot of planes is as you go through and deciding what to fly, it feels like it's a new plane again, so that's always good. Okay, so time to start. And here we go. And what I'm flying on here is a 4S 2.65 mAh battery, and it's still quite dark, so I'm just having a nice easy flight just to make sure that the plane is still in trim, and it feels great. Just being careful that I'm not going to fly over anybody's heads. And you know, those pre-flight checks, it is teaching a lot of people to suck eggs, but obviously people new to the hobby coming in, you know, I might not have laid it out the same as everybody does, but I'm just going through a pretty comprehensive check that I do. You can have a list on your radio, and as you tick each check off, your radio won't control your plane until you've gone through the full checklist, but I just make a mental note of what's got to be checked, and you know, just give myself peace of mind that the plane is going to perform correctly. Now to me, this M7 MAULE is one of the most underrated planes that you can buy. Made by E-flite, 1.5 meter wingspan.
Time remaining 3 minutes.
And I've said many a time the only downside of this plane for me are the fiddly wing connections, but if you overcome those, it really is a fantastic plane. Very, very versatile. And I mean, I'm just enjoying just pottering it around at the moment. Just for my first flight for a few months. You know, she's quick on 4S, but she also flies nice as well, nice and steady. We'll turn very quickly with rudder and aileron, as you see there. And always one of my favourites as well, on a slow fly by this one. I love the glazed cockpit, and the pilot just gives it just more of those scale features that I really enjoy. Because it's not light yet, it's going to be quite tricky to land, because I'm finding that I'm just struggling to... Okay, lovely. Just struggling to see the ground there because it's still quite dark. Okay, so yeah, there you are. Just a quick video. Pre-flight checks, range test, control service check. Obviously making sure the flight battery's fully charged. And you know, I just thought it'd be interesting to show people exactly what I do before I fly. So hope you enjoyed that. So from me, Cheryl, and the E-flite 1.5 meter M7 MAULE, thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye.